Well, sets are easy. Everybody understands sets. Let's reduce numbers to sets. Because you know what a set is. We don't even have to define it. It's so easy. And the attempt to reduce numbers to sets was very successful, but it had the unfortunate, or anyway amusing, consequence that sets became very hard to understand, like having the set of nothing generating everything. All you do is just take the set and then put set brackets around it. That just don't seem right. And there are worse things than this. Great German mathematician named Cantor, I say mathematician, artist, he made the greatest work of art of the 19th century, which is the theory of the infinite. It was he who first allowed us to see how to come to grips with the infinite, that there are many different sizes of infinity. Mathematically, you can say this precisely. He used sets and the notion of sets, and nothing more complicated than the idea of holding hands, pairing things up by holding hands, to allow us to begin to study how sets can grow large and larger. You take all the counting numbers in the world, there are an infinite number of them, and then there's a set with even more things in it. But as those things become clear, or clearer, the sets themselves become vaguer. As I think you were saying, they become blurry. And where we are right now with the infinite and with the notion of sets, I think we are where the Sumerians were 100 years after whoever it was first came up with a symbol for zero. It's taken us 5,000 years to come to grips with zero, and we're doing pretty well with it. The infinite is the great new discovery, the great new toy, the great new subject of inquiry, which someday we will understand as well as we understand zero, or as well as we understand nothing. Well, thank you very much for coming. Wonderful questions.
Thank you very, very much. We have a little gift for you. It's a children's book called Nothing at All. And in it, it's a story about an invisible dog who, by way of magic chance, becomes something after all.
Ah, the nothing that is.
Thank you so much. Those of you who would like
Thank you.
Professor Kaplan to inscribe your book, just form a line around this way, all right, and then we'll be able to see it all. Thank you all very much for coming. Thank you.
Thanks.
Robert Kaplan has taught many subjects, including math, philosophy, Greek, German, and Sanskrit. He's the founder of the Math Circle, a program to encourage public awareness and enjoyment of mathematics. His book was published by Oxford University Press.
"48 hours of non-fiction books on TV. You're watching Book TV on C-SPAN 2.
Next, Jim Powell talks about The Triumph of Liberty, a collection of stories about Thomas Jefferson, Martin Luther King Jr., and others who have worked for human liberty. After that, Ruth Rosen discusses The World Split Open, her history of the modern women's movement. Tonight on Biography on Book TV, John Culver talks about Henry Wallace, a prominent and controversial figure in President Roosevelt's New Deal. Then Jonetta Rose Barris discusses the impact of fatherlessness on black women. Her book is called Whatever Happened to Daddy's Little Girl. Later, Luong Ung, author of First They Killed My Father, shares her family's experiences under Pol Pot's regime in Cambodia. Next week on Book TV, Children's Books looks at the world of dinosaur explorers. Ann Bossum talks about dragon bones and dinosaur eggs, her biography of paleontologist and biologist Roy Chapman Andrews. Mr. Andrews discovered some entirely new dinosaur species and fossilized dinosaur eggs. He's also the inspiration for the movie character Indiana Jones. Children's Books looks at dinosaurs next Sunday at 8 a.m. and noon Eastern here on Book TV.
This week's top 10 best-selling non-fiction books according to the New York Times. Climbing to number 1, It's Not About the Bike, two-time Tour de France winner Lance Armstrong's memoir about fighting cancer.